that could be pretty much a telltale sign of the whole set. For top 12 winners side, we're getting into Demon Island, game number 1 of Neeze versus Delta.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for Neeze. I felt like the performance versus Jaru made me feel like his gameplay was a little bit shaky. Maybe he's cleaned that up a little bit now. I mean, you're starting off pretty strong so far against Hazer Delta, but one thing we haven't been able to see yet today, this is actually the first time we're seeing Axe on the screen, which
that is a very weird
surprising
thing to say,
right? Yeah,
in winner's side of this bracket. So we're finally getting access to our first Axe here, and I think part of it, like, you definitely have a little bit of fear for the way that Neeze was playing, but I think also Sejaru was just playing so good.
Oh, what a weapon throw!
Wow, okay.
Wow.
Look, one thing that Delta does a lot too is he's not very reserved with the SIG use. So you have to watch out, because at any point the neutral SIG might come through, but it's going to be Neeze getting the first game. Or stock.
I mean, so that first weapon throw that Neeze got stopped Teros and Sig, which for certain would have spiked them off the stage and taken that stock. So good weapon throw from Neeze. Neeze also went for a gravity cancel D-Light on Gauntlet, and as you can see, that move right there, that N-Sig on Hammer, is perfect for the space that Gauntlet players want to do that gravity cancel D-Light at. So Delta has answers. Neeze also has some answers of his own, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back here. He goes for a falling stare. It's not going to be enough. Dodges through another weapon throw, catches the recovery, doesn't get the final blow there, and Neeze should be able to make it back onto the stage with no problem.
Incredible job from Neeze kind of dipping around that, because you took a lot of hammer throws. Well, all you need is just that one good guess with that ground pound. It's coming through, and Neeze kind of played around ground pound distance. But Delta is currently looking at another trip off the side of the stage. What is it that Neeze is doing so well so far, at least, to kind of play around the spacing from Delta? Is because Delta is not shy about trying to get these KOs.
Yeah, one of the things about playing against Axe is that, like, you know you're gonna get hit. You just have to, like, weigh the value of what you're willing to get hit by. You know, like, Axe recovery, probably don't want to get hit by that at KO percent, but we just saw that happen right there. But like Axe Nair, you can take a few of those, you know. Axe D-Light, you don't love it, but you'll take a few of those. But when you're getting hit by like Sairs and, you know, neutral lights over and over, those tend to put you in scenarios where you're more likely to get KO'd. So I think Neeze is doing a good job of trying to evaluate, you know, his risk reward on getting hit by certain moves, and he's able to carry it into a KO right here. He's doing a great job so far. I mean, Delta doesn't seem to have an answer yet to this Mordex, but we also haven't seen Hazer really find any KO move, right? Like, he's thrown out SIG after SIG after SIG. One technically hit, like on the stats, it'll probably read as hit, but I got interrupted by weapon throws. So.
I mean, damage mitigation has been key.
Woo,
like playing
that hit clean.
Damage mitigation don't matter much when you get caught by a SIG like that. Delta's KO power is pretty much the thing that will keep the game even, because even though Neeze's defense has been on point, eventually one of those is going to find the mark. And we talked about before, multiple GC neutral SIGs to try and snag a spike. Delta's going to keep going for that regardless of how many times that whiffs, so you can't play around ledge too much here on that stock.
I love that wake up down air coming out from Neeze to stuff the ground pound follow-up. That's a very common follow-up after the nair from Axe. That's one way to go ahead and shut it down. Dodges through. I'm scared from the down sig. We haven't seen Hazer Delta, or just Delta throw out that down sig from Teros on Axe at all. And that's the one where, like, when you get to percents like this, you start trying to, like, run through your opponent. It's the one that generally takes you out.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Like, Neeze just no fear whatsoever. Coming in with the gauntlets, you have to watch out.
That's crazy.
That weapon toss kept him safe. You saw it. He was hunting for the ground pound, but he instead hunts for the recovery in center stage, catching him on a mistake and gets him off the top. Great job from Neeze, able to shut it down, because that was deep into red. That was anybody's game.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how Neeze played that game one, despite the fact that, you know, looking at the damage numbers and the stocks, it was incredibly close. I felt like he did a great job, for the most part, of avoiding all the catastrophic moves that could take him out significantly earlier. He did get hit by one Teros Axe side sig, and we saw what the result of that was.
Yep.
But aside from that, he's been doing a pretty decent job of keeping Delta at bay.
Yeah, and this is another match where Uncommon at this point, they have no set history against each other. You know, Delta coming in, kind of storming onto the scene of late too. It's been consistent, but hasn't been in this position a lot, but now is starting to do so. So we're seeing Neeze having to learn on the fly, because Delta is someone who will swing heavy every time, but Neeze is also someone who refuses to let you ever touch the wall or stay comfortable, because those ground pounds have been on point.
And you have to see as well, like, generally most people don't want to go off stage against Hammer, right? But when Delta was recovering back to the stage there, he burned his Hammer recovery first. So then on the side of Neeze, he's like, all right, I can go off stage and go for the ground pound with no fear of getting reversed. And that's going to lead to this hefty lead that he has right here. Delta throwing out recovery after recovery, trying to find these hits, getting stuffed out the air. And you can see Neeze trying to read a high recovery from Delta as well. Oh, man. throw doesn't hit. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good for Neeze at least.
Yeah, Neeze is able to get by like pretty much unscathed at that point. Only took one hit, but Neeze has just been capitalizing on his damage. However, does get the call, and Delta trying to change him off the top, trying to GC stomp to his air to just shut down the pressure, but Delta needs to get this ASAP because that is starting to get away. Now finally gets it. It's hammer and X, so that damage can get evened up really quick.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, you know, he's in the orange. That's probably like 2 sidelight nairs from Taros. Like, he really does rack up the damage quick. And there we go. There's one nair. Gets a down air as well. And you can see he's already approaching the yellow. Neeze finally gets a chance to pick up a weapon here off of that unarmed neutral light and a potential conversion. No dodge on Delta for a little bit here. He's going to be able to take note of that. Oh, tries to catch him with the D-Light, and that's the down sig. Wow, it spiked him at the worst angle, but somehow he's still able to make it back.
I have no idea how. You were waiting for it, Flambo, though. You called it in the last game. It's like, I want to see that D-Sig at Ledge. He's kind of been letting him get up for free, but these have been pretty much for free for Neeze. If there's one thing that's been the KO consistency in stat, Gauntlet recovery off the top, he keeps catching Delta, and Delta currently looking at another deficit.
Okay. Go. Delta's gonna go ahead and pick up this hammer. Gets a Sayer here, trying to find the final blow. That Sayer would have done it. Taros forced that just so high that it would have been enough outright from that position. Needs one more hit here. No dodge on Neeze, but since Delta didn't have a weapon, there was nothing he could do to pressure that position. He was like, I'm gonna lose to the disjoint of the site there 10 out of 10 times. But he just finds a rogue Sayer because that's what Axe do, right? And now we have ourselves a tied stock battle.
That was actually really good from Delta, too, because Delta kind of played around Neeze, trying to get that damage on. Got to center, caught the Sayer, and now Delta has an opportunity to get this back to even. This is only one game apiece, and if there's been a consistent thing when it comes to our winner's side of bracket so far, never assume anybody's walking away with any W, because Delta continues this juggle, and Neeze struggling a little bit to get on the ground, but finally catches an air, trying to catch a ground pound.
And we've been seeing Delta's been doing a lot more of these grounded D-Lights to try and catch either. Oh, you got caught, buddy. It's going to be a tough hot for you to get back. The recovery is going to be able to be clutch here. Goes for another one, maybe a weapon throw. No, a turnaround and light. He turned around for that. He knew. He tried to cross through him there, and now Delta has weapon advantage, and potentially he's just throwing them all away. He's throwing all the weapons away. Now Neeze has one, and Delta doesn't have one. Delta's sweating a little bit now. Oh.
Bro, Neeze hit him with the U.
Okay.
Like, you would have thought, and then Delta said no you. Like, just
yeah.
the way that he had him on the reversal, but Neeze just missed it afterwards, and then the chaos of no weapons, no access to being able to close it out. But Delta gets game number 2, and easily what could have been Neeze's game 2 off of that reversal. But I'm loving this, man. Literally, it just constant scrapping, constant pressure. The damage right there, even though it's skewed in favor of Delta, a majority of that happens coming from the weapons. Neeze was the one who was constantly getting the KOs early. So the very even gameplay from these two.
And we saw Delta threw out 10 signatures in that last match, and only 2 of them connected. But like, it's kind of the, I'm going to keep throwing them out so that you constantly have to think about them and spacing around them, even if I'm not necessarily hitting them, because when they do hit, I'm going to get my money's worth, right?
Exactly.
So it's going to be a tough time for Neeze to play around that. Despite that, we're seeing like Delta is getting most of the damage racked up on the Axe, and then if not finding a KO with the Axe, you know, swaps over to the hammer and gets like a stomp Sayer or something, fine, whatever. But on the other end, though, we see Neeze is actually getting most of the damage with the gauntlets, and that makes sense, right? We're seeing a lot of those KOs with the recoveries off the top.
Yeah, and we're going to see not really trying to play around with the small room to work with here. Going to go over to Mammoths, deciding to just make sure survivability is a little bit easier because they have been very, very aggressive off stage so far. I'm not too surprised to see this run over here. But Delta going right back to center after the weapon toss, not trying to get scooped up and sent right down to the blast zone.
Yeah, that happens one too many times against Scythe, man. You play with it, you get burned, but that's going to be a clean stock because the weapon throw just blew up the recovery there. Just poor timing from the recovery from Neeze there, stuffs his weapon or his recovery, and now he just doesn't have the resources to get back. But I think he's going to be fine to go ahead and reset and try to bring this back.
Yeah, Neeze has definitely been able to get, like we said, KO consistencies, particularly from this, and then catches the Sig off the side as well. That weapon toss just for a little bit of extra. Hey, stay down there, be humble. Getting into 2 stocks apiece. There's a reason why Delta has made it to this point, but you still cannot fall asleep on how good Neeze has been playing so far.
No, you can't. I mean, just take a look. I mean, Neeze keeping him in the corner, goes for a kind of a cheeky ground pound there, but he knew that Delta didn't have a dodge, so like the risk reward was definitely worth it. And there we go, speaking of no dodge again, gets the ground pound, almost managed to secure the KO right there. I don't know if Delta wants to be here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is Scythe.
I was actually pretty surprised that Delta decided to box with that, considering how many times it's been scooped up by Neeze, but I think Delta just plays with that like no fear mentality, man. He's constantly out there.
Yeah, one thing I'll say that Delta does that most people aren't so willing to throw out is just Hold on a second with the KO. Grab can't steal that recovery. No, a perfectly cheeky. I love what Neeze tried to do there, right? Because I think most people would have gone for a gravity cancel unarmed D-like ground pound there, and you tried to wait it out and go for the gravity cancel unarmed side sig for the recovery. But Delta didn't fall for that. He said, you know what? I'm gonna just sit here. Oh, word, ground pound time. And he took it to the bank.
Exactly, and Delta has done something better. Now, this lead may not last for very long because of how deep into the ready is, but Delta's been the one with the stock-up lead throughout this game. Every other game, even though it's gotten close, it's been with Delta behind first, but Neeze going off stage, getting it, and establishing another stock loss. This is game one apiece again. I don't think anybody wants to be going down with this because it's just so crucial to not go down in the game set the way that they've been pressuring off stage.
I think Neeze has a dodge, and that's it. A reverse nair. Oh, I liked what you tried to do there. It was rude. It was rude, but I liked what you tried to do there, but it's not going to be enough. Delta able to find the scoop off the top. Valiantly played from Neeze, but not quite good enough. Delta going to go ahead and proceed in the set 2-1.
Extremely even damage, too. 481 to 467. Not nearly as many SIGs coming in from Delta there. We talk about how he kind of does them just with the sake of putting fear into you, but he just pretty much outplayed him in center stage there. From what we've seen from Neeze was able to make the adjustments before, what do you need to see out of Neeze now to bring it to a game number 4?
See, I'm wondering if Neeze is gonna keep the Mordex pick. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Okay, so
well, there you go.
We got Rayman. Yeah.
Well,
you know,
Rayman has quite literally taken over. They're getting 2 championships over at Winters between both EU with Godly and us. I can't remember. Snowy. You let me struggle with that one too. You're like, no, you got it. I believe in you. Coming through. So Rayman putting in that work, Axe in the gauntlets, but the pressure that gauntlets has, you still have it from what we saw before. Not gonna be losing here either. So deciding to go away from the scythe to get the consistent KO power from the Axe doesn't even matter though, because the gauntlets have been putting in the work throughout the set, and he got the first stock. Yeah,
he was able to get that ground pound with relatively no problem at all. I mean, Delta, you know, trying to swing back here, almost caught that sand. That probably would have been the stock. Tries to get the turnaround. Whoa! And that's going to be all the way to the other side, and that's going to be actually clutch for Neeze here, because it means he's going to be able to survive and get a little bit of a reversal. Gets 2-3 hits now, keeping him, you know, kind of occupied in the air here, but he's going to go ahead and chase him down with the down air to get the first KO. But if I am Neeze, I'm perfectly happy with that. I got like somewhere between like 3 or 4 hits before getting KO'd there that I otherwise probably shouldn't have been able to get. And so if I'm walking with that lead into this next stock, it's definitely not a bad hit. Oh my
yeah,
God.
especially in a position where you're getting pressured too. It looked like you were going to take a Sarah to the face off the side there, but Neeze going deep off stage, not going for the ground pound, kind of waiting for Delta to use a resource first, but trying to chase him off the top. Both of them are boxing. The neutralize putting him off stage.
Oh, right, a high option there. Goes low, gets the reversal. Sayer has to run to the other side. No, it's going to be enough to KO outright. I thought he was good, but he probably burned a few options before getting hit there. And that allowed Neeze to go ahead and secure the KO. And now with that Rayman, which Rayman has some cheeky setups at low damage. Like at white, you can get down sig true into side light nair. And like that's all guaranteed damage. Takes you from white straight to mid yellow orange.
Yeah, you do not want to be taking that as it goes on, because you're seeing the incredible range that Neeze has with those SIGs coming in from Rayman. Neeze going deep off stage, trying to get the GC, stopping the Sarah, but now gives up stage position. Does, however, get back on and goes for the down there, trying to rip him off stage. And Delta, does he get the call? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's tough. Hold on now, but he does have that axe in hand. Neeze is saying, you know what, we about to bring this to a game 5. If I keep playing like this, better slow down. High weapon throw. Delta's able to call it out this time around. We have ourselves a final stock scenario. Granted, there's quite a bit of damage racked up on Delta, but once again, you can't. I mean, that's ignorance right there.
Exactly. Man. Like we've seen multiple times now where Neeze has gone down really early to multiple hammer hits. As we see Delta just keeping it going, almost catching him on the dodge, getting stopped there, just keeping it going. You're right, Flambo. That doesn't matter as Delta.
Got a side sig, I feel it. Oh, it was an head sig. Okay.
You felt it. It was coming.
Hold on, but Neeze saying, I don't want to throw it away. Oh, but you dropped the conversion. That could have been an unarmed recovery. It might have been enough, but he manages to find it raw. Thank the heavens for Neeze there. You know, he was definitely sweating the moment he dropped that true combo, and he had to kind of throw himself in the heat a little bit again to try and find the last blow. But we are going to be going to a game 5. You can take a look at the stats right there. 518 damage to 535. That's about as even as it can be.
In the heat is so accurate, because in the last game they were separated by like maybe 30 damage. In this game it is still extremely close as well, but in 500 range. These two have been going at it. It's been incredibly close. We have a game number 5 here between Neeze and Delta. Delta really just establishing complete control with the hammer. We haven't seen much axe from Delta throughout like the majority of this outside of those 6. But gets a reversal here, going for a big ground pound. We haven't seen him really go for that too much. Now starting to try and pull it out.
I love the bait we saw from Delta there as well. Was able to bait out the Rayman down sig, but just wasn't able to capitalize too much there. I mean, even taking a look at this hammer play from Delta, like, I have to agree, he's mainly sticking on that hammer, and he's getting a lot of hits in there, but Neeze now swapping over to these gauntlets. He's going to be able to see how he's able to build his retaliation. Oh, I guess he didn't want him. Yeah,
this has been the bread and butter and the moneymaker, but instead, you like not feeling it, deciding to go with the axe, just wanting to be able to box, now getting rid of hammer, trying to go for a big snare, does get... Is he getting the wall touch? Okay, gets the recovery, sends him high, but it keeps the pressure going.
Okay, we'll take it. It wasn't enough to KO, which definitely isn't what he's wanted, but gravity cancel D-Light recovery, yeah, we'll take that. Actually, not a bad make out at all from Neeze. So, I mean, despite all that, Delta, we saw, especially at the end of that last game, was able to equalize things extraordinarily quickly, right? Like, that was over the span of maybe like 10 to 15 seconds. So, like, if you are Neeze, you need to build a hefty lead. Like, I mean, like, big lead right here to make sure that you can go ahead and secure this set.
5 Cs on that. You need a massive lead here. You need to get that pressure going. You need to keep Delta from getting any kind of comfort. And Neeze is doing that so far very well to neutralize, catching him after he decided to go for a jump stare. Does get the stomp stare, but a lot of damage in favor. The extra credit term we like to bring up a lot. That was very good for Neeze.
And just like that, I mean, I think this was a good amount of damage. This is kind of what I was looking for, right? You got him in the red here. You have your gauntlets. A D-Light recovery is going to KO at this damage range, assuming you're able to find it. And if you're Delta here, you're just trying to get a weapon, right? You're like, I at least need to get something to swing with to start. Come on, what can I find? Oh, looks like I can't find anything because this guy Neeze is just being so oppressive. Oh, and he goes for the ground pound, and he goes for ground pound back, and then
just keeps it going.
Ground pound train?
I am so surprised because Neeze had was doing such a good job on weapon starve. It's like you might as well just keep it going, right? But Neeze decided to try and go for the ground pounds to catch him off guard. It's like you assume I'd go back, but now Delta still deep in the red. Pretty much anything will take him out. Delta just trying to get back into it. We've seen this is an even game. This is a very even game now.
This is tough, man. Like, he had such a lead built up, and just like that, we're watching Delta go ahead and turn things around. Scoop Häagen-Dazs. That's going to be a quick one to send my guy back to the blast zone. And now we have 1 stock remaining on Neeze. You did the job to bring it this far. Are you going to lose in game 5? Is Delta going to be clutcher than you are?
I mean, this is where champions are built, right? You have to get this W. It's game 5. Delta holding on to a very, very small lead here because a neutral light should possibly take it out. No, it takes forever to take Teros out. Trying to go off stage. Does catch him, though. Gets it to final stock apiece. Neeze, so what does he decide to commitment? Gonna stay with the axe. We've seen a lot more axe this game 5 by comparison to the gauntlets. You were saying that before. You need to keep Delta away. As the weapon toss catches him, but it's not enough to keep him away from hammer.
And man, we've seen Delta rack up the damage so fast. I'm looking at these damage numbers and I'm like, it's not going to be like this for long based off what I've seen so far. But Neeze saying, hold on, maybe I can prove otherwise. Not quite though. Delta not going to be able to start from the weapon spawn. Wasn't quite the best for that. But despite that, I mean, he is scrapping, dude. Neeze is behind. Goes for the Mafia. It's not enough to KO off the top.
That was so close. Does that be the difference here? Does Neeze go? He's getting sent deep off stage. Getting back does have options to go to wall touch. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting at all. The neutral light gonna send him back off, and now he's unarmed once again, Flambeau.
Oh, what is he gonna do here? He has to find a way in. He can't. Delta's gonna go ahead and get the down air and does a side sig at the end for celebration, taking out Neeze. 3-2